Please bow your head in prayer. Gracious God, ground us in sacred duty of governance. As members gather in these council chambers, infuse each heart with a steadfast dedication to serve our city's people. Let no distractions disrupt nor laziness loom over this assembly. Rather, empower us with focused attentiveness and disciplined action to spearhead meaningful progress. May your wisdom be our guiding lighthouse amidst the fog of unpreparedness or indifference. May God bless the families in Israel that have had their loved ones return from their bondage of captivity. And may you watch over and comfort those families that await the return of the remains of theirs. May you watch over and protect the brave forces of Ukraine as they continue to fight for their freedom against the evil from those who seek to take their land and livelihood. In Jesus' name, we pray for enduring diligence and unwavering commitment until every last task before us tonight is fulfilled to completion. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. God bless Texas.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just right here. We should hang this. It just sits here.
We can't
right there. All right. Very well. Thank you. Okay. All right. Moving into agenda item number 2. This is our public comment section. Mr. Alexander.
Mr. Mayor, we have no one signed up for comments. Very
well. All right. At this time, we will move into agenda item number 3. This is our proclamations. If I may have Mr. Lawrence, if you'd come up, and anybody from the American Legion. We have the Terry Fisher Post. We're very honored to have you all here today, as we do have a wonderful proclamation for you. All right. Whereas Dr. Stan Lawrence and his staff have a long history of selfless public service across Rockwall County. Whereas Lawrence Dental wishes to honor local veterans for their service by providing free frontline dental care on November 7, 2025. Whereas local area veterans will be provided with free dental exams, cancer screenings, and teeth cleaning, as well as any frontline dental care. Whereas Lawrence Dental has partnered with the Rockwall American Legion Terry Fisher Post 117 since 2017 to create an annual dental day for Veterans Day, known as D-Day for V-Day. And whereas Lawrence Dental has provided nearly $300,000 in care and treatment over 7 years, whereas the Terry Fisher Post has mobilized their veterans to contact as many veterans as possible to ensure none go without quality dental care. And whereas a core mission of the Terry Fisher Post is to conduct veterans outreach and advocate to support the attainment of quality health care for all veterans. Whereas all the Terry Fisher Post members are proud to stand with Dr. Stan Lawrence and his stellar team to uphold the ideals of freedom and democracy while working to make a difference in the lives of local area veterans. Now therefore, I, Jeremiah McClure, Mayor of the City of Heath, for the sake of the veterans of our community, express our appreciation to Dr. Lawrence for his good work, and do hereby proclaim November 7th, 2025 as D-Day for V-Day in the City of Heath.
Oh, love that.
I guess if you get on the other side.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
One more.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I gave you extras for
All right. 1, 2, 3. Norma? Sorry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Outstanding.
The closer you got, you
Well, next time
Thank you, sir. Thank you. D-Day for V-Day, I love it. Thank you.
All right. We do have another proclamation that we'd like to make tonight. And this is for National First Responders Day. And as I was talking through First Responders Day, got to really think about who are our first responders. It's not only police, it's not only fire, it's not only paramedics, it's also our public works. And so today we are making a proclamation, whereas first responders, including public works professionals, firefighters, police officers, emergency medical technicians, 911 operators, paramedics, and other emergency personnel stand on the front line of our communities, selflessly serving and protecting the citizens of the city of Heath in times of crisis. Whereas first responders respond swiftly and courageously to emergencies, often putting their own lives at risk to ensure the safety and well-being of others. Whether it's a natural disaster, accidents, medical emergencies, or public health and safety threats. Whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and the children in the city of Heath to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and other first responders' efforts in their respective communities. Whereas, as of 2019, the U.S. Senate has included language recognizing public works alongside fellow other first responders. Now therefore, I, Jeremiah McClure, Mayor of the City of Heath, Texas, do hereby designate October 28, 2025 as National First Responders Day, and I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies paying tribute to our public works first responders alongside our law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, 911 operators, and other emergency personnel to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing the quality of life for all. If I could at this time, Mr. Creed, if you would come up, if our captains would come up, we'd love to get a picture. If I could have Councilman Ownby. Councilman Ownby representing Rockwell County and all that they do as paramedics. If you guys would join me in this, and thank you guys for all your hard work and all that you do for our community.
All right. Can you please go that way a little? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Outstanding. Thank you guys. All right, thank you all for that. We're super honored to have all of you recognized today. At this time, we'll move into agenda item number 4. This is our city manager comments and council comments. Mr. Alexander, do you have any comments?
Mayor, I have none.
None at this time. Are there any council members that have any comments? The floor is open.
I have one, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Dodson?
I'd just like to have say a public thank you to city staff, Ashley Farrell and Javier Falcone, who were incredibly instrumental in helping me with what I am learning is necessary to activate one's alarm in this town. It's called an alarm permit. And I wasn't able to find it on the city's website, and I know that we are actioning that, which is awesome. But Javier was undaunted and was able to find Ashley, and they were able to not only help me get my permit resolved, but as I brought in my payment for the permit, Ashley was able to issue that within 30 minutes of me walking in the door. And I just thought that was fantastic service. So, Mr. City Manager, I'd like to thank you and really give a special shout out to both Ashley and Javier, who were incredibly helpful for me.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councilman Dodson.
Mr. Mayor, I got one comment.
Councilman
I want to
Myers?
thank the Special Events Board. We had a super night out here last Tuesday, I believe it was, and Suzanne and all the officers and everybody that was part of that. I think it was bigger this year than it was last year. And I just want to say thank y'all. We got a lot of feedback from the citizens. I did, that people that I knew that was here that really enjoyed that.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Any other comments, council? I would echo. I think that we have a number of great staff, and I'm very excited about the work that the customer service committee's been doing and staff's been doing and implementing the new culture that we're driving forward to really put a focus on customer service, customer satisfaction. So I love hearing that. And I would also echo Councilman Myers' point that National Night Out was a wonderful event. And I know that Miss Suzanne doesn't like any notoriety, but my goodness, her and the events committee work really, really, really hard. And so thank you guys for all your hard work, because it really is events like that that make it pretty magical. And thank you, captains, for your team, for going out there and really engaging with the kids. I think it's pretty fun to watch a lot of the little ones that live in this town go and get inside the fire truck and get inside the police cars and all the other things that they get to do. I think it's just a unique experience. So if you haven't gone, we do encourage you guys to go to National Night Out. It's a great time. At this time, we'll move into agenda item number 5. That's our consent agenda. I believe everybody's had time to review your consent agenda. This is 5.8, action regarding the minutes of the September 23rd, 2025 regular meeting. So at this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'd like to motion that we approve the agenda meeting minutes, Mr. Mayor.
Very well. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Dodson. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilman Ownby. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into agenda item number 6. These are items for individual consideration. 6.A, discussion and action regarding resolution number 251014A, approving and reaffirming the City of Heath's investment policy for public funds for fiscal year 2025. Mr. Ayers.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be before you today. This reaffirmation, what just happened? Okay. This reaffirmation of the investment policy, it establishes standards for managing and protecting public funds, ensures transparency and accountability and compliance, and retroactively reaffirms the city's investment policy for fiscal year 2025. We did operate under the investment policy that you have in your packet for the fiscal year 2025, and this is just to ensure statutory compliance with the Public Funds Investment Act, which requires annual review and approval by City Council. The purpose of this investment policy provides a framework for how city funds are invested and safeguarded. Applies to all city funds, so that's your general fund, utility fund, even your sales tax A and type B corporations. Ensures prudent management of public funds and prioritizes 3 core investment objectives. One of those being safety, to protect principal and ensure no loss of funds. Liquidity, to make sure funds are readily available to meet obligations, and yield, which is to obtain a reasonable amount of return while maintaining safety and liquidity. This balanced approach reflects our ongoing commitment to fiscal and responsible stewardship. So with this resolution, we recommend that City Council approves this. As said earlier, there's no changes in the investment policy fiscal year 2025 since its last adoption. This reaffirms compliance with the Public Funds Investment Act and maintains prudent management of city funds. Is there any questions that you have?
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Ayers. At this time, council, are there any questions for staff? Councilman Dodson?
Jay, I'm just wondering, has the Finance Committee seen the resolution and reviewed this investment policy?
They haven't seen this one, but we forwarded the investment policy to them when they first were established.
Right.
They'll be involved in the process for FY26, because this is just retroactively reaffirming for 2025. But I've already reached out to the Finance Board chairs to start their process of having them review the investment policy, so we begin discussions on the investment policy standards for FY26.
Gotcha.
Mayor Pro Tem, so basically here, this is looking back, right?
Right.
So 2024, 25, the policy was not adopted
Right.
as it should have been. So we're bringing this forward and looking backwards to get it approved by the council retroactively, so it apply to 24, 25. Our intention is to have the Finance Board take a look at this policy going forward for 25, 26, and bring forward any recommendations they might have with regards to changes to the policy for your consideration.
Great.
The
Thanks.
policy can be changed at any time.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jay, for that. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Very well. Thank you, Councilman Dodson. Are there any other questions for staff? If there are none at this time, thank you, Mr. Ayers. I'm glad that, Mr. Alexander, you spoke to that. That was a question that I had. Obviously, we have a new board that's in place, the Finance Board, and so as we were looking at regulatory, we want to make sure that we're staying in compliance at all times. So time sensitive, but we do want to make sure that this gets on the docket for the Finance Board, do some reviews. If there's anything that they see to be something that they would like to make a recommendation, then we'll bring it forward to the council, would be my expectation, right? So not only is it for this next fiscal year, but any time in between now and then. Very well. Okay. If there are no further discussion or question, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor. I move that we adopt the proposed resolution approving the City of Heath investment policy for fiscal year 2025.
Very well. Motion's on the floor by Councilman Omi. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Councilwoman Horn. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Okay, moving into agenda item 6.b. Discussion and action regarding resolution number 251014B to deny Encore Electric Delivery Company LLC's proposed increase in revenue and proposed changes to rates. Mr. Ayers.
Mayor and council, just background in prior city action. On June 26, Encore filed a statement of intent to increase revenues to $833.6 million. That's an overall 13% increase in revenue. This will raise the average residential bill by $7 a month. The city has worked with the Alliance of Encore Cities and Harold Law and Associates to review the proceedings before the Public Utility Commission of Texas. And then on July 22nd, as you may recall, we brought forth a resolution to suspend the proposed rate increase for 90 days. This was to allow time for review and expert analysis for those rate requests, and it also kept the current rates pending while it was under review. The findings, after expert review with the utility rate analysis, they found that Encore's proposed rate on equity and overall rate of return were excessive. The proposed revenue increase was not justified, and Encore failed to demonstrate that the proposed rates were just and reasonable. So with this resolution, staff recommends approval to deny Encore's proposed increase in rates and revenue and continue to participate in the PUCT proceedings through AOC and authorize reimbursement of rate case expenses by Encore. And the next steps, after a decision is made, we'll forward the city's action to the PUCT through the Alliance of Encore Cities and Harold Law and Associates. In this process, Encore may appeal the city's denial, and the city through the AOC will continue to protect local interests in the proceedings. And this is just a breakdown, because I know there was a question about how how previous rate increases ended. Here you have from calendar year 21 to 25. The total requested rate increases was $755 million over that 5-year span, and this current rate increase is $833 million. So that kind of puts everything into perspective. It's more, the rate increase that they're requesting is actually more than what they requested over the last 5 years. And then in that 5 years, only 477 million of that was approved, and there was a reduction in their request of 277 million. So just to throw that information out there. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Ayers. Council, at this time, do you have any questions for staff?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Dodson?
Jay and maybe Marie, what is the appeal process like? Should we continue to deny their rate increase? What is their process? And can they eventually just force us into this type of an increase for a city?
So actually, I don't know that answer because there is another law firm that represents the Alliance of Encore Cities.
Got it.
So I'm not familiar with that process.
We can get that answer though.
Okay, Marie, thanks.
Now, outside of
Steve?
participating with a group like this that
Right.
brings cities together to basically fight these rate increases, we don't have much of another option.
Right.
If you try to take this on yourself, it gets very expensive, you have to hire your own experts, and so we're better in numbers. And so it is the only process we have to take advantage of in dealing with these.
Kind of sounds like lobbying in Austin.
But it is the pathway we have to try to combat the rate increases.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Austin's actually a part of the Alliance. So.
Good.
Interesting. All right. Thank you all so much.
Very good. Councilman Omby?
Yeah, I have a question. So if we deny this, it stays flat. When they come back, is it a chance we'll have some rate increase? We don't have any idea. It might still stay flat.
Audition.
Yeah, what's that process
Yeah,
like?
at this point, we won't know until after the review is done by the Public Utility Commission of Texas. So it's just a matter of, it's a waiting game pretty much. But whatever the results are, we'll bring that back to council.
Okay, thank you.
Typically, there will be some kind of adjustment based on how their appeal to the PUC goes forward.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Councilman Horn?
Yeah, so, when I was reading through this, I look at this as us supporting the Alliance is important because we put our faith in them to fight these battles for us. And it may be $7 a month this year, but if we don't show them that we're going to stand up to these rate increases, it may be more in the future. So I think it's very important that we support the Alliance and what they're doing.
Very good. Any other comments? Very well. I would concur. We did this last year as well. And so I do look forward to seeing how we vote tonight, but what the outcome is in the future. So at this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Omby.
Make a motion we approve the resolution number 251014B denying Encore Electric Company LLC's application to increase proposed revenues and increase rates filed on or about June 26, 2025, and authorizing continued participation in the proceedings through the Alliance of Encore Cities with reimbursement of associated rate case expenses by Encore.
Very good. Motion is stated. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilwoman Horn. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into 6.C, discussion and action regarding resolution number 251014C, approving the Texas term sheet, approving and ratifying participation in the global opioid settlement agreements, and authorizing the city manager to execute all related documents. Mr. Ayers.
Mayor and council, this item concerns the Texas opioid abatement settlement and the city's reaffirmation participation under the Texas term sheet. The This settlement was established to hold pharmaceutical companies accountable for their role in the opioid crisis and to provide funding for local governments to support prevention, treatment, and recovery efforts. The city previously joined the Global Settlement Program, and tonight's action formally reaffirms the participation and authorizes continued compliance with the state's requirements. Here, under the Texas term sheet, these are how the funds are distributed. 15% goes to cities and counties, 70% to Texas Opioid Abatement Fund Council. They administer the statewide program. 15% goes to the state of Texas for oversight and coordination. And below that is a summary of the city's allocation, what we've collected so far from the opioid fund settlement. The total is $19,347 received so far. What we're requesting in this resolution, it approves and reaffirms the Texas term sheet, ratifies prior participation in the global opioid settlement, and authorizes the city manager to execute any future settlement forms in regards to the opioid settlement fund.
Okay. Very good. All right, at this time, council, do you have any questions for staff? Councilman Omby?
Yes, so I don't know how intimate you are with this, but you look through the cities and counties even, and some have some crazy numbers attached to that.
Yeah.
You have any idea how and why that's distributed? Do they have county hospitals?
Yeah, that's a part of it.
Facilities or?
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll check to firm this up, but I believe based on certain regions, they came up with some formula to calculate every city's portion. But if you look at, I believe it's under, let me see, I think it's Exhibit B in your packet. It breaks down every city's allocation from the opioid fund. And then what they did is they set up a council to establish the statewide disbursement of their portion that they're collecting. But the state of Texas, they just administer and coordinate everything, so.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Dodson?
Is this part of the federal case that included or enjoined Purdue Pharma in their work with OxyContin?
Yes.
Purdue is one of them.
Yes.
Right, okay. So two questions. How much longer will this settlement agreement run for? Is this time defined? Is it in perpetuity? How long will this settlement pay out?
It's over the,
It's a amount of money.
yeah. I want to say it was.
It's a global settlement, and
Right.
so over the years, as they've gone after different drug manufacturers, so it was Johnson & Johnson, Purdue,
Walgreens.
the Sattler family, and some companies I didn't recognize the names. So there could be future settlements, but the settlements are for past actions. So if they were to, turn around and do this again, then there would potentially be new lawsuits, new settlements.
Right, but for this settlement that has been paying out for a few years, is this the last year that we expect to pay out from this settlement?
Not necessarily, because there could be new settlements that are reached with other companies.
Got it, okay.
And I'm not aware of if there are current suits against other companies and if there's something to be expected. But these are the ones that we have now. And when the Attorney General's office, who is coordinating these settlements in coordination with other states, they advise us when new settlements become available and to fill out those documents.
Right, okay.
So there could be more money coming, but I'm not aware of any at this time.
Sounds like what you're asking is this, the settlements from these companies, is it paid out over time, and then eventually, and how long is that time frame?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just wondering how we should think about accounting for that.
Programming the
from
money.
from a budgeting perspective, and that gets me to my next question is, where will these funds be placed, and then what will they be used for in the city of Heath?
Yeah, that's a great question. We do have to account for them separately, and they will have to go to some of the specific strategies that are laid out in the term sheet that's attached to the agenda item. So
Right.
it could be public safety training, it could be supplies that public safety might need to deal with opioid cases, things of that nature.
Right.
I think different jurisdictions are obviously using the money in different ways. I tend to see this money mostly going to promotional items related to opioid abuse, supplies for our police department, things like that. But we've not made any decisions about how that will be programmed. Ultimately, that'll rest with the city council on how that gets spent.
Okay, thanks, Steve, and thanks, Marie, for that very much. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Very good, thank you, Councilman. Are there any other questions for staff? If there are none at this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution number 251014C, approving the Texas term sheet.
Very well, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Myers. The motion moves. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into agenda item 6.d, discussion and action regarding two resolutions nominating two representatives to the Rockwall and Kaufman County Central Appraisal District's Board of Directors. Ms. Duncan.
See, I'm not meant to talk. I don't even have a speaker. Or a mic. This resolution is actually, or this item is actually for two resolutions for the Kaufman County as well as Rockwall County. But Kaufman County, their deadline to submit a nominee was tonight, and we can't get it to them. It was at 5 o'clock. But however, Kaufman County only has one vote because it's based on a calculation from our from our taxes. So we're not acting on Kaufman County tonight.
Understood.
So the city of Heath would have one vote per candidate, is that right?
Correct.
Out of the 1,000 votes that get cast for each of those
Correct.
candidates.
So we're not acting on Kaufman County tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So essentially, council, these are nominees that would go in for these positions on these boards, and then there are individuals that are decided through those nominees. So, Councilman Dodson and Councilman Warren, you remember last year when we actually nominated some individuals. I don't believe any of those were selected. However, we're back.
So Joe Ruskiewicz from P&Z was not selected, but we did nominate Richard Kopech the year before, and he is still on the board.
He is still on. Very
right,
good.
correct. And so the Rockwall CAD Board of Directors is made up of 9 directors, but only 5 of those are appointed by the taxing unit. So there's only 5 of the directors that we have to nominate for, but tonight we're only nominating for 2 of them because those positions expire at the end of December. So we can, I've already talked to Richard Kopech, and he is interested in re-upping this. It's for 4 years.
Okay.
So it's up to you if you want to nominate Richard as well as somebody else. The city of Heath gets 56 votes total. So if we nominate 2, we can distribute it between the 2 or put it all on one. But tonight, we're not allocating the votes. Tonight, we're just doing the nominations, and at a later time, I'll come to you for how you want to distribute those 56 votes.
Very good. Council, do you have any questions for Ms. Duncan? Councilman Dodson?
No questions, but a comment when we're at that point, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Omby?
So these nominees, do they need to be from our city exclusively?
They don't have to be
Okay.
to nominate. Typically, the city does send somebody to represent their city.
Right.
But Tim Hartley is from Heath. These are the 5 that we have right now. Tim Hartley was Heath. John Holzenhelt, do you know him? Okay, it's not Heath.
Rockwall.
Okay, Rockwall. Trace Johannesson.
Rockwall.
Richard Kopek Heath, and then Cedric Thomas is Rockwall. So they have 3 and we have 2.
Okay. Good clarity. Very good.
So
Any
tonight I
questions?
will need a nominee or nominees for the 2, 1 or the both positions.
Okay,
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Mayor.
what's that?
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, are there any other questions? Okay, Councilman Dodson, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just think it's really important, given the unique makeup of Heath, that we have representatives on this board that are not from the city of Rockwall.
Yep.
The city of Rockwall has just a very different profile and growth plan than we do here in Heath. And it's really incumbent, particularly from a taxation perspective, that we have people on this board representing our interests with regards to how these taxes are defined and adjudicated.
Agreed. Very good. Do we have any nominees?
I have a couple nominees,
Okay,
Mr. Mayor. This is a very steep learning curve. A lot goes into these positions. They have to learn a lot. I've talked to a number of them on the board, and it takes them a good amount of time to get caught up to speed. I talked to Cedric Thomas, who would like to remain on that board, and then we had in our packet that Richard Kepke would like to stay on as well. So those would be my 2 nominations to keep that cohesiveness. That board runs really well at this point in time, and would like to not upset the apple cart.
okay, very good. Any other comments? Any other nominees? Councilman
I'd
Dodson?
like to nominate David Billings for the Cedric Thomas position and retain Richard Kepke on this board as well.
Okay. All right, so we have 2 nominees, but we now have a 3rd. Okay. Any other nominees? Okay. So would you guys like to speak to your nominees?
Well, so Cedric Thomas is a current city councilman in Rockwall, was councilman in Lavon prior, has a long background with this board, and just again is very knowledgeable and up to speed on exactly how they do things.
Okay, very well. Councilman Dodson?
Former Mayor David Billings from Fate was a city councilman before he was the mayor at Fate. He has also spent an incredible amount of time in Austin lobbying on behalf of small cities like ours and small cities like Fate. While they are on a different growth trajectory, he is incredibly strong with regards to his financial acumen as per his background and in representing groups within larger districts such as Austin and other parts of the state. David has, I think, been historically a champion for self-determination from each municipality kind of choosing their own path, but in very simple terms, lower taxation overall, and fighting for that both at the local, at the county, and then at the state level as well.
Okay, very well. Thank you for speaking to that. So let's address Mr. Kupke. Are all of those in favor of allowing Mr. Kupke to stay on as a nominee?
Yes.
Yes.
Very well. We're in agreement there. So then we would get to Mr. Cedric Thomas and Mr. David Billings. So we'll start with Councilman Horn.
David Billings.
Okay. Councilman Myers.
David Billings.
Councilman Mormon.
Cedric Thomas.
Councilman Dodson.
David Billings.
Councilman Omby.
Cedric Thomas.
Very well. I'm just gonna.
Come on, Mayor.
Got a great opportunity to create a tie and see everybody arm wrestle. I will nominate David Billings.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Very well. just let them know, hey, look, it was a big tie, and it's, you know, Cedric's a great guy, unbelievable guy. And so is ex-mayor Billings, so, very well. We have our nominees.
Thank you.
So, at this time, we will open the floor to entertain a motion. Going once.
I move that we, I'm sorry, Brian, go ahead, please, sir.
By all means, go ahead. I was just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna make a motion to
Okay.
approve Cedric, or, I'm sorry, Billings and Kepka.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor for Mr. Billings and Mr. Krupke to be our two representatives for Rockwall Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. The motion moves. Do we have a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second.
We have a second by Councilman Myers. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. All right, moving into agenda item 6.e, discussion and action on authorizing the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Kimberly Horn and Associates, Inc. for an amendment to the professional services agreement, adding construction administration services for well number one. Mr. Creed?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So what we're presenting tonight is an additional scope to the original contract for the design of well number one out here in the park that was awarded. We expect that to kick off here in next week. We already had the guys out here. And what this is for, this is to add additional construction phase services. In the original scope, we had 6 site visits by Kimberly Horn to assist us with it. 2 of those have already been used up with the well water lines that we laid that go to the irrigation point and then goes up towards the tower. This would add 6 additional observation site visits, as well as take on 12 application and review schedule, pay application review schedules, and would also facilitate essentially our construction meetings that we could have monthly. Now, there's a 22-month schedule on this job. However, there's only 12. You'll notice there's only 12 pay application and review schedule meetings. That's because of the nature of the drilling would occur in a few months, and then we have a long lead time break in between. We wait on the electrical procurement, and then the job will pick back up. So there will be a pause in between where there's no need for pay application reviews. There's no need to have construction meetings on the well project because there's no action on the well. And during that time is when Hill and Wilkinson have opportunity to move back in there and get that field taken care of before our electricians move back in. This is a request for $44,200, not to exceed.
Very well. Anything else?
That's it. And we also have Tanner Henson and Anthony Samaripis
It's great to have you guys
here if we have any questions for them.
Very good. All right, at this time, the floor is open if you have any questions for staff. Councilman Dodson?
The current contract then has 4 remaining site visits, right?
It does, yes, sir.
And I noticed down in the body of this that a couple of more individuals were added on for these additional visits, correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
You talk about the consultant will attend with substantial completion?
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
see Kenny and Anthony and Tanner kind of all added to this. Were they originally part of the site review, or are these now incremental people? Is this a payment for incremental people coming out and performing a site visit?
So I think it's 2 things. It's the additional site visits and the pay reviews and the scheduling. And there is an item in here to bring out senior folks from Kimberly Horn. So yes, they were added.
That being either Kenny Fryer or Anthony.
Correct.
Right, okay. Well, and I understand the oversight, particularly for well number 1, given the learnings that we're gonna have on this. But I would absolutely expect a material reduction in wells 2 through 4, which I also know that you're bidding on. We shouldn't have to pay for the same ground twice. from well one to all of the other wells. It's like continuing to pay for tuition after, you know, the first semester is already completed. So, you know, I'd like to see if we can get some positive variance from that and pick up some of the learning that you all are gonna have by bringing out, you know, multiple people here to do these reviews. I just think we should be able to inure the benefit of that at, you know, should you guys get awarded the contract for these additional wells.
I was about to make that clause, that's assuming, right? That you're awarded that. Very well.
So, okay, thank you.
Very good. Are there any other questions for staff? Very good. It's good to see that we're addressing some of these things, right? Because obviously, these were some vulnerabilities, right? So I'm glad that you guys are working together with Kimley Horn to identify those deltas that are going to be needed. Okay, at this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor. Make a motion that we approve an amendment to the professional services agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc., adding the construction administration services for well number 1.
Very well. We have a motion on the floor as stated. Do we have a second? No second? The motion dies. Okay. So do we want to go back into discussion, or do you want to open the floor to entertain a new motion? What's the hesitation that we're feeling here, council?
Well, I'm just going to speak up, Mr. Mayor. I think, for me, I understand why the additional funding is being requested. I just feel like there's a little frustration that we are being continually asked to add to this project. And I feel like this is continual. I want to know, and I should have asked it before, but I want to know what checks are going to be put into place to minimize this creep that keeps happening over and over again.
That's a good point. So if I heard you correctly, there's some concerns with scope creep, okay? So, Mr. Alexander, maybe you could speak to why this was identified as a potential delta that needs to be addressed.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, so from my perspective, this contract becomes a force multiplier for staff. As you all know, staff has quite a few projects going on right now. And so the additional work that we're asking Kimley Horn to come on and do is help us monitor this project throughout the course of the project, not just with site visits, additional site visits, but also reviewing pay apps that are put in by the contractor. This is work we can do as staff. It is. But we're asking for the additional contract to help us be able to not have to focus on this as much as we are focusing on other projects as well, because the time we spend on this is time we're not spending on other projects. So this becomes a force multiplier for city staff. There are,
if I may, just because I completely understand and very much agree with that initial concern, because I too asked very similar questions. So whenever you say that it's a force multiplier, what we are talking about in public works world is you guys are doing nonstop projects, right? And in fact, we're putting in front of them continual projects to say, we want Hubbard Drive done. We want Terry Lane done. We want trails.
Road maintenance.
We need road maintenance. We want to see some remedies, right? So at some level, I think that might have been where staff said, hey, we absolutely want to accomplish all of these things. However, this one item is something that we may want some additional expertise on site.
absolutely,
It allows additional support from an accounting checks and balance.
absolutely.
Okay, so I just kind of wanted to,
No,
because
Mayor,
they had to walk me there
yeah,
as
no,
well.
Mayor,
So-
I appreciate that. That's absolutely right. I mean, I've never been in an organization that's built a water well or potable water well. Brian Creed has experience with water wells, but the people who are asking to do this work have expertise in this. And so keeping eyes on this project on a recurring basis, making sure they're reviewing pay apps, I think is very helpful for city staff and for the community on this particular very important project.
and bringing in, you know, as I would assume with Kenny, right, you have a shareholder that is also coming in to be part of that process.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that is an extremely helpful explanation.
Yeah.
But I will echo what Councilman Dodson said. Let's do it this time. First look at this first water well and try to mitigate those expenses in the future. So thank you.
No.
Thank you. We want to support the staff, so thank you.
We appreciate that. And genuinely, I just want the council to know, and I know you know as well, how important this project is to our community, particularly with it being the first potable, I'll get it right one of these days, potable water wells that we're gonna have in our community that's gonna be what everybody looks at to get on board with the other water wells that we're wanting to do. So we want to do all we can, and I know council does too, to make sure this water well is put in correctly and functions like it's supposed to.
But I am glad that you brought that question up, because I too had numerous questions, so.
Yeah.
Councilman Dodson?
Yeah, I want us to start picking up some economies of scale here, as opposed to just doing the continual contractor dance of, here's a change order, here's a change order, it's gonna be more, we're gonna add more people, we're just gonna throw resources at it, and you guys are gonna have to suck it up and pay for it. I don't wanna be in that position. We are spending an incredible amount of money on these wells from a design perspective and from a contractor perspective to put these things in place. And I want to be good stewards of our P&L here in town, and we should start inuring the benefit of folks that are providing a significant amount of oversight on this. And that's what my expectations are.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
I agree. Mr. Alexander knows that I agree. A lot of conversation. So yes, very much so. And essentially, as I'm to understand it, please correct me, this is also you guys looking at that project, looking at your overall projects, looking at your workloads, and then saying, hey, if we could get some assistance here, I think we can kind of keep all of these things in alignment. Is that correct?
That's right.
It's not necessarily where you have a contractor that's trying to pitch this as a solution.
No, this is us looking to our consultants and asking for help.
Okay.
Some additional help on this project to make sure it gets done correctly. Again, the stuff that is factored into the 44,200, your staff can do. We can do it. I know what a pay app looks like. I know how to review a pay app. Brian does too. Jay does too. We can do that work. We can also go out and look at the well that's being drilled. Brian would be the one we'd have to look to, to make sure things are being done as the contractor's doing the work. But what we're asking for here is some assistance to get this done using our consultants to get there.
Very well. Are there any further questions? I very much do appreciate the dialogue. Very good. All right. If there are no further questions or discussions, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion. Let's go. Let's make a motion.
Motion to approve the professional services agreement with Kimley Horn, adding construction administration services for well one.
Very well. We have a motion on the floor as stated by Councilman Dodson. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Councilwoman Horn. All right, the motion moves. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
All right. Councilman Mormon in opposition. Very well. All right, moving into agenda item 6.f, discussion and action regarding ordinance number 251014A, amending the city council term limits to apply retroactively, including to the current mayor and council. All right, this is me. All right, so for a little bit of brief history, and there has been numerous people that are, continuing to ask how we're addressing this or if we're addressing this. So I want to kind of go backwards before we go forward. So, and this is for the audience as well as the council. So there was a petition brought forward to our city secretary. That petition came in two separate forms. So you'll see the first document, we didn't want to print out, I think there's 100 and some odd pages. I do not know the total count, what is it, whatever the requirement, 500 and some odd petitioners. Okay, so you had petitioners essentially going around the city and getting people to sign a petition stating that they want term limits for the mayor and the council members, okay? The way that it was presented when turned in is that this one document, I'm going to say my Exhibit A, stated to the City Council and City Secretary of the City of Heath located in Rockwell County, the undersigned qualified voters of Heath, Texas do hereby require that the following charter amendment, and then it says, see attached 4 pages. Then it goes to 4 pages and it says, City Council cannot serve for more than 4 two-year terms for a total of 8 years. The mayor cannot serve for more than 2 two-year terms for a total of 4 years. Under no circumstances can someone serve more than 12 total years in any combination of positions. And then the last bullet point is time served at the time of adoption by the voters will count toward the term limit restrictions. So that is this document here. That is what is attached to 10 petitioners listed here, and then they have a secondary page in this exhibit, number 2, 3, and 4. I won't read all of it, but it is laid out in an actual ordinance, to where they're trying to spell out the ordinance as it should state these specific term limits that they're requesting or stating that they're getting petitioners for. Then you have a second. You have a second that had, I don't know, 500 and some odd signatures, whatever the legal requirements are. And it states, I'm not going to bore you with all of the description. However, the petition for local option election to implement term limits for mayoral and city council positions to the City of Heath, City Council, Texas, City of Heath, and then it goes, implement term limits for mayoral and city council positions by amending the charter for the City of Heath, Texas, USA, semicolon, blank. Okay, so as you can see on your document there, you should have that first copy. Okay, so when that was turned in, it was a little bit like, okay, well, this document that has a bunch of signatures doesn't have secondary attachments described in the blank, okay? So no matter what the petitioner comes in and says, if they say, hey, well, we had attachments, okay, I just didn't put it in the blank, but there were attachments, it's not here nor there, that then created a very unique circumstance to where you have petitioners that are reaching the threshold in which we as a council then needed to vote to allow that petition to move into an election. However, whenever you went to the ballot, the reason that it did not read the exact term limits on the ballot when everybody went for the general election, it stated the second document. So it says, Proposition A, shall the charter of the City of Heath be amended to state the following: implement term limits for mayoral and city council positions by amending the charter for the City of Heath, Texas, USA, semicolon, blank. So that's why, for some that, and those that are watching online, just as a quick reminder, that's why it had a blank on the election form on the ballot. That's why it did not get the verbiage that's on the additional 4 pages is because it didn't describe it on the primary page. So every page that everybody's signing didn't have that there's an attachment, and it didn't spell out, and obviously, you know, there's a lot here, didn't spell out on the primary document that people are signing petitions. It didn't say the description of the term limits, so it just says blank. So therefore, everybody voted on, hey, we want term limits, but there was a blank, there was no description. Okay, everybody's up to speed. So then, we waited to see, okay, what's the election gonna look like? And the outcome was 5,440 residents were for term limits, and there were 1,163 that were against. So 82.3% said we want term limits, okay? So then, with a whole lot of discussion and a whole lot of what's next and how do we address this, because you can't amend your charter, which is the city's governing documents, right? So you can't amend your charter for 2 years. Okay, well, how do you stay in compliance to your charter that now states that you need to have term limits without having term limits? Okay, all right, unique opportunity. So then we said, okay, we're gonna bring it for the body and we're gonna offer up an ordinance, right, which is our governing laws, and that's what we will offer up. So in that meeting, what was brought up, which would just be a normal course of action, I would assume, is to take what is being told to have been the supplementary documents, but not necessarily written here, but supposedly that is why 500 and some odd people signed all of this, not just saying that they wanted term limits, but that they actually said that they wanted very specific term limits. And then there was a big debate over, you know, well, how do we know? We don't really know, right? This is to get me out, this is to get you out, this is to get somebody out, and so on and so forth. Doesn't matter, okay? So that's where that happened. And so then there was a motion on the floor, and the motion on the floor for the ordinance was to create an ordinance for term limits, and the term limits are, and again, I'll read them, City Council cannot serve more than 4 2-year terms for a total of 8 years. And then the mayor cannot serve for more than 2 2-year terms for a total of 4 years, and under no circumstances can someone serve more than 12 years in any combination of positions. However, when they got to the last part of the motion, they said they want to strike, something along those lines, the time served at the time of adoption by the voters that will count toward the term limit restrictions. That was cut. All right. So then the ordinance was passed, and we now have term limits. And the term limits are now sitting within your ordinance. The one thing that it is not following with what the petitioners are stating is the retroactivity or the time served prior to the adoption. So, therefore, wanted to bring it back to the council to take a look at this ordinance as it currently sits. Take a look at what the citizens, the petitioners, and they continue to ask for this re-review, is to look at this and have a discussion and or an action on do we want to amend this ordinance or leave it standing. I think I did a pretty good job of giving a history lesson and a breakdown, okay? And I think it's very, very important. There's 82.3% of our residents want to see term limits. The question then gets into the 500 and some odd individuals. What specific term limits did they want to see, and what did they go around petitioning for? And I believe that, you know, we need to address our current sitting ordinance and let the citizens understand that it's been addressed. Okay? All right, at this time, we will open the floor for discussion. Councilman Obi?
Just for clarification, what was the vote on that ordinance that night? Do you recall, or do we have it recorded?
I know that Ms. Duncan does have it recorded. I don't know if she can speak to that.
I will think.
The tip of her fingers.
Don't hold me to it. I believe the vote was 4-3.
Okay? Okay, so 4-3 vote.
Very good.
Very good. Okay. And who made the motion?
Actually, the vote would be 3-4.
3-4.
3-4.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay.
I do. It's coming to me. Rich Kraus made the motion and Brent Weaver seconded.
Okay. All right, very good. So,
I'm impressed.
any other questions?
That's it for now.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion? All right.
This was something, Mayor, that I ran on when I was, prior to me being elected to city council. And in the 3,000 homes that I went to, the vast majority of people were absolutely and emphatically for specific term limits. They weren't for just term limits in general. They were for specific term limits and time served. There's nobody getting paid on this dais with regards to the work that we do. It's mostly pain and suffering. But along with that, you get
Joyous pain and suffering for those of you that are at home.
you get a chance to help the people that you live with, and you get to help predict and achieve a better future for the city that we all live in and that we raise our kids in as well. And for me, it was a timestamp. And that timestamp was, there's a series of things that need to be achieved that the citizens tell you that they'll elect you to achieve. And it's not in perpetuity. And it's not 20, 30 years. It's you get a specific amount of time to get in there and get these things done. And then fresher, newer, more energetic ideas can and perhaps should prevail, because these jobs do take a lot out of you. And, you know, they are all encompassing with regards to as much as you put into it, there's always more to learn. And for those of us that serve and that have done roles like this, we love it, which is why you run and you sacrifice your family and your time and your jobs and everything else to spend time on and with this board and with these folks up here to try to get the right things to happen for your community, right? And there's a time definition, in my opinion, and the vast majority of people, again, that I spoke with wanted that time specificity outlined and made a part of the ordinance that was brought through that they ended up not getting, and believing that they were kind of sold a bill of goods, if you will.
Okay, very good. Councilman Omby?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I could corroborate that. It's exactly what I saw and the many hours that I spent meeting people at the Shell station, Tom Thumb, wherever it was we could go to get we had a very small amount of time, very compressed. And so there were a lot of people that were hustling a lot of signatures, and every single one that I spoke with absolutely understood that it was 8-4. And in fact, I had some people that asked, or advised me that they couldn't support it until they thought about it and said, no, I really like that idea.
Okay.
So after some contemplation, even came over to that side of having specific timelines on this.
Okay, very good. Any other councilman?
Yeah, I remember when this was brought to my attention, and I remember wholeheartedly supporting it and supporting the terms that were laid out. 12 years, that's it. And every person that I talked to, and I knocked a lot of doors and I talked to a lot of people, felt like there should be a time limit to it. And now as I sit on the dais and it affects me, I still believe the same thing I did before, which is 12 years is plenty of time to do what I need to do and then turn it over to someone else. So I totally agree that we need to stick with the spirit of what this was presented to people was, these are the limits. And I believe that they want us to honor that.
Very good. Councilman Myers?
I just want to just echo on what Scott, Councilman Dotson, Owen Bean, and Ms. Horn's done, Councilman Horn. I did work on this also, and that was the consent that I got from the constituents or voters of Heath. Everyone
wanted these as it is stated here with the 12 years total, 8 and 4.
Okay. All right, very good. Any
Or,
other?
or at least 82% of the people that voted anyway.
Correct.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? The only thing that I would say is that, you know, I know that the residents have spoken. I know that there has been more questions come to me versus 0 questions come to me on this item about why in the world do we have term limits, but we didn't have specific term limits. And then whenever the vote went the way that it did, there were lots of questions, very assertive questions and comments towards why would you not do the will of the people. So I find myself in the same unique situation that I was whenever we first brought it to the floor. I want to give you guys all an opportunity to address this, and if you want to amend this ordinance, we're here tonight to do so. I feel as though this is a personal attack on me. You only want to see me here for 2 more years. Very good. All right. At this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I do have another comment, Mayor.
Very good.
So the specific language that we took to the masses, completely and wholeheartedly agree, 82, 83% people want that. What we didn't take to them was any other possible amendments or adjustments to that. And I think there's one that I would like discussed at least, and that's that after maybe a cooling off period, let's say, maybe a period of 2 years or 3 years, that those people might be eligible then to come back in and serve some more. And the reason I say that is because sometimes you get in droughts with people that are willing to do this, and it drives down the quality of people that get elected. And sometimes you just find yourself, this is a very young council, but I think we're moving at a pretty good pace. But it isn't always going to be that way. Sometimes you need some experience, people to come back maybe to the council that can add some stability to it. So I know some of the surrounding cities that have term limits do have that. Some are 1 year, some are 2, some are 3. I think 1 year is too little, but I'd at least like that discussion to be added to that amendment potentially as well before we get any.
Yeah, very good. I think it's great. You know, Councilman Obi, I kind of have made this secondary argument. I mean, I've, you know, offline, and I believe I even stated that from the dais, is that, you know, hey, you know, if John Ratcliffe wanted to come back, not that he ever would, what a treasure it would be, right? So you know, it is a unique approach. But I would also tell you that if you heard some of my communications during this time, and it was a fairly tumultuous time, addressing these items, I would say I'm a bit of a purist to say I would go to what the people have stated, that this is what we petitioned for. This is what we wanted to see. Now, I hear you loud and clear if they didn't have secondary options or whatever, but my purist side says I just want to make the recommendation of whatever is sitting before me today that was sitting before me whenever it first got brought forward. So
I completely agree.
But I don't necessarily disagree with your sentiment.
Right. Yeah, I just think it's something good to consider, and you know, I don't have any heartburn either way personally, but thought it needed to be addressed.
Very good. All right. Any other discussion, questions?
So this is an action item?
This is a current action item. All right. At this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I motion to amend the city charter to be inclusive of a total of 4 2-year terms for city council and 2 2-year terms for mayor, not to exceed a total of 12 combined years in both positions for service in a combined capacity between city council and mayor.
And the time served is the portion in which was not addressed.
Time served at the time of adoption by voters, the voters, or time served at the time of adoption by council members and mayors will count toward the term limit restrictions.
Okay, and to clarify your motion, you stated charter, do you mean ordinance?
Ordinance, that's correct.
So ordinance.
So let me restate that,
Okay,
since it's complicated.
very good.
So I propose modifying our city ordinance such that council cannot serve for more than 4 two-year terms for a total of 8 years. The mayor cannot serve for more than 2 two-year terms. And under no circumstance can someone serve more than 12 total years in any combination of positions. And that the time served by sitting and prior council will count towards the term limit restrictions.
Okay, so you're applying the retroactivity. Very well. The motion stands as stated.
Mayor, if I could provide a point of clarification.
Please do.
The, Councilman Dodson, what you just stated is already in the city's ordinances.
The retroactivity.
The retroactivity is not, but what you're reading off the petition, aside from the retroactivity, is in the ordinance already.
Right, which is the last item which you just stated.
Yes, so we're just, just to make sure the record is clear, if you're only wanting to do the retroactivity portion, then you would be passing the ordinance as it's written. Because we're not adding, what you've read from is already in the ordinance as it was passed
As stated for
last year.
251014A.
It might make more sense if I could show you how it's currently written. So this is 30.04, so all of this
Right.
is the same, and then we're just changing the retroactivity portion here.
Got it. So would you prefer that I modify my statement of change to only be related to the retroactivity of this item?
You can, if you'd like to phrase it that way, or you can phrase it as presented, because the ordinance in your packet is written the way that you're suggesting.
Very good.
It's under
There's a date.
number 5 of the whereas.
It's effective as of today's date.
Right, all right, very good. So let me take a third run at this, Marie.
That's great.
Holy smokes.
They say third time's a charm.
Here we go. Yeah, I know. So I move that we action ordinance number 251, 251014A, amending the city council term limits to apply retroactively.
Very well. Motion on the floor is stated. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second by Councilman Omby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into 6.G, review and discuss proposed improvements to the city hall and community room. Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members. This item is to provide an opportunity for us to discuss with you some of the improvements that to City Hall that we are discussing internally and are proposing. Well, that does not look like my item. Here we go. Here we go. You may recall in the fiscal year 2024-25 budget, the City Council had appropriated funding within the capital improvement program to make improvements at City Hall. Now, at the time the budget was approved, those improvements consisted of making modifications to the fire engine bay in anticipation of receiving the ladder truck that we're getting in December. As it turns out, we don't need near as much funding to do what we want to do to the engine bay. We just want to increase the height of that middle bay as you face the building. in order to get the ladder truck in and out of that building, be able to house it while we're waiting for the 2 public safety buildings to be constructed in a year or so. So that leaves some remaining funds within the capital improvement program that we can apply toward other improvements at City Hall. And so, for example, one of the things we've talked internally, some of these things have been discussed before I got here and since I've been here, but one of the items that has been discussed is painting the outside of this building in an effort to do a couple things. One, focus on the desired aesthetic that the City Council is looking for with regards to buildings in the town center area. Provide continuity, of the color of the building. If you look at our building today, it's the brick veneer has two-tone brick. So painting the building would create a kind of uniform look through the whole building.
I wouldn't say it just has two-tone look. I'd say it has 3- and 4-tone look.
Fair,
because it's been added on four different times.
Fair point, Mayor. Okay. If you do look at our building, there are different types of bricks that have been used over the years, as this building, as many of you know, has been expanded over the years. And so, again, the paint would provide a uniform look over the entire brick veneer. Also, one of the focuses through this particular proposed project is to provide some continuity with the church building that's across Lawrence down Smurl. They also have a green roof. I think I've got a picture of side by side. Just so you have the church building on the left. You have City Hall. What City Hall might look like once it is painted with the stone matching our brick, and then maybe adding a logo to the building, since we already have a new monument sign that was donated. Funding was donated to the city. But basically provides a more aesthetically pleasing look to the City Hall building. So that's one of the projects to paint this facility. The quotes we've received range between $16,000 and $36,000. We haven't worked those quotes. Those are just quotes we've received. We haven't been very focused on looking for a paint that is intended to be used on masonry. I know there's a concern about trapping moisture within brick and how brick can spall over time with moisture trapped in it. The paint that we've talked to Sherwin-Williams about is intended for masonry products and is intended to allow the brick to continue to breathe, so that should address that concern. And so that's this particular project. And I'll go through the different projects, and then we can back up and have dialogue. As you know, we have our customer service subcommittee of the City Council. One of the conversations that I had with a couple of our committee members offline was improving the entryway to our building as it relates to our customer service area. So the picture on the left, as many of you know, as you come into our building, this is what our customers see as they walk in. It's not very welcoming. And we have these 2 windows that have sliding glass panels, and so we're thinking about what if we were to open this area up, have an open counter that doesn't go to the ceiling, maybe have our employees front-facing customers as they come into the building to provide that welcoming feeling as people walk in, as our customers walk in, and they can address our customers immediately as they walk in. As you see the desks on the right, you can see the orientation of the desk is facing away from the windows. This picture is taken from that first window on the left. And so our desks are facing away from the windows, and in order to get up and assist a customer, for example, the first desk here, the person has to get up, walk around the desk, then approach that window, okay? And so we're hoping to reorient all that, have an open counter, welcoming environment for our customers as they come in. It improves visibility for not only our customers but also our employees as people are coming in, and just would provide, we think, from a form and function standpoint, a better level of customer service. Okay. We don't have quotes on this yet. This is something we're still trying to plan out how we want to lay this out. But I think you get the sense that what we're trying to accomplish is that kind of openness as people come into our building. The community room, we don't get a lot of rentals of our community room. There's about 20 to 30 rentals a year of our community room. A couple things we would like to focus on in the community room. One, we have some flooring issues we need to address. I don't think the entire flooring needs to be replaced, but could be. But we do have some areas as you walk through the community room that definitely need to be addressed as far as the flooring is concerned. But the idea behind improving the aesthetics of this room, perhaps replacing the surface mount lighting on the ceiling with some recessed lighting, maybe have some decorative fixtures that go down the middle, just to add to the attractiveness, the aesthetics of this room. Add some trim molding you maybe keep the chair rail that we have in this particular picture, but add some trim molding on the wall, some crown molding, maybe baseboarding that's a little more high end, just to kind of step up, what people are renting when they do rent this particular room. We have dated furniture, so we'd like to take some of those resources and replace our chairs, tables, perhaps have some stand-up tables, if you will, for different types of events that people might rent the facility for, but also start promoting, even though we have this on our website, but start promoting the rental of this facility to see if we can't generate more interest in using this particular facility or part of our facility. The kitchen is somewhat out of date, as you can see in this picture on the left. The appliances are mismatched, so maybe we can replace those appliances to make a more uniform look, as well as some updated appliances for people to use as they rent this facility, and just create an overall nicer form and functionality of this room. One of the things I spoke to our IT manager about was adding a TV that's a portable TV that people could rent. So if you bring in some people and you want to make a presentation in this room, you could have something to use and you could rent from us to do that, and just add to the overall amenities that we could provide with regards to the rental of this facility. Overall, we've got programmed about $62,000 estimated to spend on this room. The biggest portion would be replacing the entire floor. So if we didn't feel like we had to do that, we might be able to back that off a little bit. So lastly is the walking path that, if you're on the picture on the right, you see the blue car out in the distance there. The path ends on the other side of our parking lot and then starts to traverse across the parking lot diagonally behind, and then comes by, and comes behind the monument sign, and then down the side of the building to the parking lot. And so the idea here is to improve the alignment of this trail and make it more linear, coming straight across the parking lot, as opposed to having to jog in a zigzag fashion to stay on that walking trail. And so we'd have some concrete work to do here, but we think we'd improve for pedestrians that are using the sidewalk, providing a more linear path from one side to the other. The dotted line is just how that path would travel. You may recall there's been recently a sidewalk ramp added on the left-hand side there that pathway would tie into, and then get onto the sidewalk going in front of the school building. So we estimate that particular project to cost around $15,000 or so. And so those are the improvements that we are proposing to make. We recognize that in a year or so, we'll be moving many of our employees out of this particular building, leaving a lot of space at this facility. And so one of the things we would like to do throughout this next year is bring on a consultant that can help us plan out the space in this building in a bigger fashion. These are smaller projects that can immediately improve the form and functionality of the building, but we understand there's a longer term picture in front of us here coming soon. And so throughout the year, as we are focused on the building, having somebody come in and help us plan that space out, plan renovations to the building that could make this a more overall functional City Hall building for our community. So happy to.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. I appreciate that. I will say, and obviously there is no action on this item. It's really for us to have an open dialogue about, we had an item in which we knew that we were going to be remodeling part of the building where we were going to have to open up for a bay. Once they came back, it's much less than what was budgeted, set aside for that. And then there were conversations going, hey, and again, I'm gonna kind of get excited about DPS. DPS was funded for one building, and because of all of the great work that the chief and the captains and all the arm wrestles that I had to do with Chief Siri, they figured out a way and found a great group that's going to be able to create two buildings. So that gives us a new opportunity to have DPS come out of this building. So originally, DPS wasn't coming out of this building. It was going to be, you're getting one station, and there's going to still be people in this building, and then also at the new station. But because of that opportunity of having two buildings on two separate sites, all of DPS is coming out. So we know that we have an opportunity with the Public Works building, so you have Public Works and you have DPS, and so there's going to be an opportunity to overhaul City Hall. Personally, Mr. Alexander, I like this phased approach versus okay, let's get a space planner and wait and spend all this money to do all of that, because I want us to be very fiscally responsible even with that full renovation.
Sure.
I think that this is fairly smartly laid out to say, hey, we've got a 12 to, I'm gonna call it a $12 million park, even though we've got a potable well that's coming in, it takes it up a bit. But we have a $12 million park, it's gonna be the staple of this community. And then we've got a building here that has been added on and added on and added on. So if we can do anything to make it more aesthetically pleasing, as we've done on the inside with private donor money, we had the monument donated and all these things, and then even to your point, on that far left corner where we had a donor pay to create a ramp. So again, we're kind of staying within the momentum of what these donors are saying, hey, we want to help see City Hall improved. I love the fact that we're also looking at the community room as a revenue generator. Those of you that have heard me say, I'm all about finding new, unique revenue streams. Hey, we've got to figure out how we can generate revenue. We have a community room that can't really generate a lot of revenue in its current state. So giving it some time and attention is good. So anyways, I appreciate you guys going through that. And then the last thing, I would say that thank you to the committee on customer service. What a great observation that we don't have, we're trying to recreate this new culture, right? And really push forward to say, hey, we're a customer service minded city. And so when people come into the front lobby, I even donated those chairs sitting out there because I was like, whatever, let's make this place as nice as we can. And it's with limited resources that we've been able to make it as nice as it is today. So if we could lower that and open that up and create an environment that is inviting to the residents to come in and have great dialogue, I think is superb observation by that committee and by staff looking at opportunities. So anyways, I'm not saying that I'm biased here, but I think that this is a great opportunity. So at this time, the chair will open the floor for discussion.
So you're saying you're biased without saying you're biased,
I'm,
right?
I'm not saying I'm biased, but man, I think it'd be a wonderful approach.
One of my first questions was the renovation of that customer service area, if that came out of the customer service committee, and it sounds like it
Yes.
did, and I think that's excellent.
It absolutely did.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we spoke in the lobby. Cindy, or Councilmember Horn, I don't know if you recall, but we had a conversation with Councilmember Dawson and Councilmember Horn out in the lobby here. And we were all looking at this right here and just saying how much better this could be for our customers if we made some renovations here to maybe have just an open counter, have our employees forward facing where they can get up quickly and address customers' needs, or maybe if there's a workstation built in behind the counter, they don't have to get up. They're just right there as the counter as customers approach.
So you're saying take out the majority of that wall, leave it a half wall through the entirety of that? We don't have a mock-up for that, right?
No, I don't yet, but yet kind of my general idea is to have maybe raise the counter up, but keep it open from that counter to the ceiling. It would just be an open counter.
And you'd have one contiguous
That's
counter.
right. Now you might have a partition there for privacy purposes.
There might be a load-bearing wall there.
But that's one of the things we still have to consider if that is a load-bearing wall.
So I got the idea when I was in the McKinney City Hall, and they just put in kind of a higher counter like Steve's talking about, just with a nice top surface on it and what have you. It was just really inviting. You felt as though that they were engaged with you the second that you walked in.
Yes, sir.
Right? And there was somebody there to answer your questions and direct you accordingly. It was just a nice environment. Right. And it just kind of fits in with the Heath Way that Steve's the architect of here for our town as well.
It's our committee. Thank you.
Okay.
I think my only trepidation would be that we spend too much money on that and not be able to use it. So if we could, whatever modifications we do, we could sort of make that a waypoint or an anchor for the space planner that comes in. I mean, the doors are there. It makes sense that that's still our lobby.
Entryway.
Right. So, but I think that we could absolutely make that happen without wasting the money spent on those renovations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And that's been some conversations too that I agree. When you get into space planning, let's look at, hey, we're going to spend some money now in a phased approach, and so once they start looking at it, let's not take this thing down to a shell, right? What we need to do is we need to be, fiscally responsible and look at how do we optimize the spaces. Just for example, this one room is not just the council's chambers, it is our municipal court.
That's right.
So this room literally has to get transformed, multiple times in a week.
as well as board meetings and other things that happen here. And then fighting for a conference room
Oh, my goodness.
is, I mean, it's dangerous. You better bring some snacks and pay people off if you want that conference room. So again, you know, I think staff, and this is a compliment to staff, over the years, that staff has done a lot with a little. There are offices now, and we've done massive cleanup. Those of you that have all walked the halls, I mean, it's a massive cleanup, right, Ms. Duncan? Been a massive cleanup. The mayor's OCD, they say. And so, in general, they're gonna get to spread their wings. And so we're gonna be looking at a lot of opportunities because DPS is all on the other side. We've got all these bays that are gonna be available. We have CID that's gonna be coming out. You've got some of Public Works offices. And so there really is more opportunity as you kind of flow through the building. But I too echo that we don't wanna just, hey, let's not spend some money now and then we'll just scrap it in a year or two whenever we do have to budget for an overhaul.
Yeah, the reality is that from a timing standpoint, with DPS, you know, vacating and Public Works going out next year, by the time you get it planned and bid and built, and you're talking 3+ years if it's a day. So what can we do to monetize maybe the space that we have available with that community room, and, you know, put some Scotch tape and paper clips in some other parts of the building until we can get a full total redesign in place.
Yeah, I agree.
So just to add to the customer service committee in that room, I think one of the biggest things when I was talking to people out on the campaign trail was their frustration with the level of customer service at City Hall. And once I dug deeper and on the committee, you know, we found the employees are doing a lot. We could make little changes like this. We don't have to blow out the wall, you know, reorienting the desk. But if we can open it up, it'll make it seem less like a doctor's office and more like a place that welcomes the community.
We do like doctors. We think all of your offices are very nice. For those of you in the audience, Dr. Lawrence isn't here, so we're okay.
He's not here, we're good. But just having that welcoming atmosphere, I think is just going to change the way people interact with the city and the way that our citizens expect to be treated.
I agree wholeheartedly. Any other thoughts, Councilman?
I want to go to the ladder truck here that's supposed to be here in probably 10 weeks. And it looks like everything kind of may have started with that, needing to raise that up. So how quick do we move on the raising the bay?
They're pretty ready.
Yeah, we're ready. End of this month, 1st of November, so we get time.
Ready to go.
Okay. I like all the
That's how we got here.
That's to do the work. That's
Yeah,
not to get the
that's right.
ladder truck. Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Well, you just drive it.
What was the cost of that improvement roughly?
14,000.
Yeah. So that's what got us here. They're ready to go, teed it up. Hey, we've got an opportunity, and so that's where this conversation ballooned from in a very short amount of time. And we said, hey, let's get this on the agenda, have some dialogue, and make sure that we can give good direction to staff.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to make one comment.
Yes, sir.
I want to echo again on Scott and Cindy that when we were out campaigning, that a lot of people said, hey, my experience at the city was terrible. And we've encountered a couple of things that have been brought to my attention that I've worked with Steve on, that I think that we're heading in the right direction, and I think bringing this to council now is 100% what we need to do, because again, like Scott said, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to get a lot of this implemented, so I'm 100% supportive of it.
Absolutely. And I'm a big proponent too, as staff can tell you, is that, you know, if you look good, you feel good, you're in an environment that helps you feel a certain way, you're going to give a higher level of connectivity with the residents. And so that's been one major push to where, you know, the lobby, I think I said probably within the first week that, hey, we've got to make some improvements. You know, whatever we need to do to really refresh all the way from clutter. We've moved out, I'm not even going to ask how many boxes and file cabinets and all these things. And so, you know, we took out, you know, interior windows with blinds.
all kinds of unique little things. So there's been a lot of little things throughout this time, and I do think that that goes in alignment with what the committee's working on, because sometimes before you can deal with the front facing, you've got to deal with the internal and make people feel confident and comfortable and working in a good professional environment. So, all right. It sounds like to me, Mr. Alexander, that the direction is to move forward. Am I hearing anything different? Very well. Okay.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to talk about the community room a little bit too.
Sure.
And then I realized we didn't discuss exterior paint, which was the first bullet.
Sure.
So we're looking at products. Is it going to be a brighter white, a little off-white, sort
I
of
would assume
Austin
that it
stone
would
color?
match the stone,
Is
yeah,
that
like a
Austin
muted.
stone
Right.
color?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a bit bright.
That looks bright.
In comparison
Yeah.
to what that Austin
right.
stone looks like.
Right, and this work was provided by Suzanne, by the way. She was able to do the before and after. What's wrong?
Photoshop still at
She's
the
a-
Suzanne?
That's AI.
Did you not do that? I thought you
That's
did
a
this.
great, that is,
I thought you sat up late at night coloring in the bricks on
they
the
did
picture.
not, I did
No?
ask, they did not use Sherman-Williams app for their AI. The idea was just to give an overview on what it could look like. The idea, as I'm to understand it, Mr. Alexander, is that if you will look at the Methodist Church, it would be similar in color because it's essentially matching the stone that's on our columns and now on our monument. So therefore, creating within one block of each other some level of continuity between another building. And Heath does lack continuity between multiple buildings on multiple properties. So
Yeah, it looks a little shaded there, so it's really kind of hard to tell.
it is kind of hard to tell. It's kind of a cream.
That's because I took that picture, so.
Yeah.
I didn't do
The wrong time of day.
Wrong time of
obviously.
day.
You didn't listen to Suzanne.
I should have listened to Suzanne.
Hey,
Should have her
Steve,
take the photo.
Steve, have y'all thought of like acid wash? I know that there are some houses in aging neighborhoods that have kind of gone that direction to get something that's closer to like a white product.
Right.
But I don't know if it's doable.
So-
I don't know anything about it.
The two products we looked at were a brick stain
Yeah.
or brick paint. And so the stain, with the stain being not trapping in moisture. But
Right.
as we spoke to Sherwin-Williams, they indicated their latex paint, it's a particular product that they've got, allows the brick to breathe. And so that kind of got me comfortable with, okay, we're not going to trap moisture in this brick. And that's really what I had the most concern about on painting brick. So anyways, but to answer your question directly, no, we didn't talk about any kind of acid wash or whitewash, whatever that's called. That
German schmear.
German schmear, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have further comments on
Yeah,
community room?
community room, I had a question. So 20 to 30 rentals a year, what type of people are renting it? And
As I
what are
understand
their
it,
needs?
great question, thank you, Councilman. As I understand it, it's mostly showers, birthday parties, graduation parties, and then the HOAs will rent our community room from time to time, and they actually get a 50% break on the rate. The rate is $50 an hour for the rental of the facility, but they get a 50% break for the first 4 rentals through the year.
So I really like the idea of it if we can monetize it, if it will help. And I don't know how many rentals we can get out of it. I'm on the Rotary and we own our building, and so that's always an issue there as well, is how do you stay ahead of the mortgage? But I think if we're gonna really get aggressive, I think we have to change those appliances. They have to look the same, they have to be up to date. And, flooring obviously is a given, lighting, things like that. But, I don't know what storage we have, if we can make any more to kind of hide some of that stuff. I know a lot of the other community centers, they have chair exercise groups and things like that, and we really haven't done anything for the elderly here to that end.
Sure.
That would be a great opportunity,
Which in our
perhaps.
surveys, we should
I should be
look
doing
at
it
it.
right now. So, and I personally, I think I'd rather see the AV on the wall where we had that presentation with the first, I guess it was our first budget meeting, rather than something on a cart. I just think it would look a lot cleaner if we could just put it on the wall, similar to this, on the other side of that
Kind of
wall.
like a drop down or something.
Could be a screen and a projector, absolutely. I don't know what the price points are, the TVs are pretty cheap. I don't know about electric screens, but if, like at the center and Rockwall, that kind of a setup would be great, but, you know, without a doubt, the AV system at the Rotary Hall is a big selling point for a lot of people. A lot of them really, even if it's a shower or something like that, they like something on a
Sure.
loop.
Is it a fixed mounted screen on the wall? Or?
It is at Rotary, yeah, it's a
like-
wall of,
It's a wall, it's multiple.
yeah,
Oh, I see.
a wall of screens, and it's outdated too, well, shut up. But,
It's
so
like
those will
9
be,
screens or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
only.
no big deal.
those will be my comments on that, so, you know, I
Okay.
think definitely
feedback.
AV kitchen, would make it more rentable.
Yep, I agree.
And just another note on that, I think, I didn't know it was even available to rent until recently. So I think getting the word out that, hey, this is available for you to rent, and I think we do that, we really get it more aggressive with that once we get, you know, these little aesthetic things done.
I agree. Very good. All right.
That's all
I
my
think
comments.
you got some good direction.
We're gonna get started.
Okay.
Thank you all.
All right, very well. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for all that. Moving into agenda item number 7, this is our executive session in accordance with the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D. The City Council will recess in executive session. This is a closed meeting to discuss the following. 7.A, 551.074, personnel matters, deliberation regarding the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee regarding city attorney. All right, we are now in executive session at 8:16. All right, thank you.